Markets around the world are heading for their best month in over 3 years, filled mostly by expectations of a Fed rate cut cycle. But what happens before, during, and after a rate cut expectation? Today, we talk about the history, going back over 7 years of what has happened during rate cut cycle periods. Also, why does that mean? You need to be watching this end of 2023 and the start of 2024. So, closely crypto eyes $40,000 as Thanksgiving brings the cheer for the coin. Could we hit 46 by the year end today? We talk about that. And more importantly, what's going on with the actual technicals in this market right now? Sentiment just drove to a 3W high when it comes to expectations, and of course we've had 4 weeks of now upward cycle on the S&P 500 can. This dulling market actually be stopped, and more importantly, what dark pool transactions do, we see underneath the Nasdaq starting to show rotation. The VIX is heading to the lowest point in over 3 years, and the US dollar could be the most important hedge to be watching right now. For both bulls and bears, join us in our special weekend edition of Stocks, Commodities, and Cryptos Around the World. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the special weekend edition of Markets Around the World, where we dive into the macro, lead indicators, and the hottest charts. If you're a fan of all things markets, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. I'm confident you're going to discover a ton of value in today's video. The Standard & Poor's 500 index surged by 1% this week, extending its winning streak to a 4th consecutive week, with the healthcare and communication services sectors spearheading a broad ascent. Closing Friday's session at 45.59, a rise from the previous week's close of 45.14, this increase occurred in a week truncated by the Thanksgiving holiday, with the US stock market closed on Thursday and closing 3 hours early on Friday. With just 4 trading sessions left in November, the S&P 500 has gained 9.8% for the month so far, putting it on course for its most substantial monthly increase in over a year. This November surge has nearly erased the decline recorded during the S&P 500's 3-month losing streak from August through October, a period marked by concerns about the Federal Reserve's future interest rate policy that heavily impacted the market. Factors such as tamer than expected inflation readings and better than feared third-quarter earnings results have alleviated investors' rate worries, fueling the November climb. Consequently, the S&P 500 is now up almost 19% year-to-date. All sectors of the index experienced gains this week, with healthcare leading the way with a 2.2% increase, followed by a 1.4% rise in consumer staples and a 1.3% boost in communication services. Agilent Technologies, played a significant role in the healthcare sector's climb, with its shares rising by 12%, as the provider of analytical and clinical laboratory technologies reported fiscal Q4 results above analysts' expectations. In the consumer staples sector, Clorox, CLX, saw a 1.5% increase as JP Morgan Chase upgraded its investment rating on the stock to neutral from underweight, concurrently raising its price target on the shares to $145 from $124. Communication services experienced a notable gain with Paramount Global, PARA, as the largest percentage gainer, witnessing a 7.7% increase amid the sale of the media, streaming, and entertainment company's mixed martial arts promotion, Bellator, to Professional Fighters League. The financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. Here's a snapshot of the weekly performance on Wall Street. Dow, up 1.3%, marking the 4th consecutive weekly gain. S&P 500, UP plus 1%, also notching its 4th straight weekly gain. Nasdaq, up 0.9%, securing a 4th consecutive weekly gain. Russell 2000, up 0.4%. VIX, down 9.7%. Wall Street's Fear and Greed Index currently sits at 68,100, indicating a state of greed. The index is swiftly approaching extreme greed territory. It's worth noting that stocks often experience pullbacks when sentiment reaches such heightened levels. Investors should be cautious and monitor the market closely in the face of this extreme sentiment. Here's an unusual story that doesn't happen every day. In 2018, Netflix NFLX purchased a sci-fi series from director Carl Rinch, known for 47 Ronin, providing him with an $11 million budget. Instead of using the funds for the show, Rynch reportedly lost $5.9 million in the stock market through risky option trades. Facing financial setbacks, he shifted to cryptocurrency, allegedly using $4 million to buy Dogecoin, which he managed to turn into a remarkable gain of $27 million. However, rather than completing the project, he spent $8.7 million on luxury items and sports cars, including a Ferrari and 5 Rolls-Royces. As a result of burning through $55 million without delivering any episodes, Netflix ceased funding the project and is now suing Rynch. He had used part of the $11 million Netflix wired to his production company to engage in cryptocurrency trading, with Dogecoin turning out to be a profitable venture. His theory making the rounds suggests that BlackRock may have been behind the Department of Justice, DOJ criminal investigation into Binance. The alleged main objective was to remove Binance and its CEO, CZ, from the picture before the potential approval of Bitcoin ETFs. According to this theory, BlackRock is positioned to be the next Binance, with Larry Fink being considered the next CZ. The implication is that major players are orchestrating moves to shape the landscape in the cryptocurrency industry. However, it's crucial to note that such theories are speculative and may lack concrete evidence. The notable development is the declining correlation between Bitcoin and equities, which has dropped from 50% to below 0% in less than a year. This shift could be advantageous for portfolio diversification, making Bitcoin more appealing to institutions such as BlackRock. The reduced correlation with stocks also offers a hedging opportunity for bears, concerned about a soft landing. And since then, Bitcoin has seen a significant increase of over 40%. Let's analyze some charts. We begin with the SPY 4-hour chart. What is going on here? If the price remains above 455, we can anticipate further upward movement in the market. However, if it experiences a decline and falls below 451, I would consider this a signal to potentially initiate a short position. Moving on to the QQQ 4-hour chart, if the price successfully surpasses 393, there's a strong likelihood of QQQ reaching new all-time highs. On the flip side, if the price drops below 387.98, we might witness a pullback for QQQ. Turning our attention to the IWM, small caps, on the 4-hour chart, a decisive move above and sustained presence beyond 180 would signify a victory for the bulls. Conversely, if the price retreats below 176, the next support level to watch would be around 171.47. Examining the 4-hour chart for NVIDIA, a potential rebound on Monday could be in play if the price holds above 477. However, a drop below this level might trigger a sell-off, and in such a scenario, the next support to watch would be around 459. Analyzing the 4-hour chart for Tesla, the stock seems to be within a range. If the price drops below 234, it could be an opportunity to go short. On the other hand, if the price touches the trend line around 224, it might present a buying opportunity. However, if the price manages to rise above 242.57, it could be a signal to consider Tesla calls. Looking at the 4-hour chart for Apple, for a bullish perspective, the price needs to rise above 190. If it stays below this level, the next potential targets could be 187 and 185 for Apple. Checking the commodities, let's begin with oil. It's still in the range between 75 and 77. If the price drops below 74, consider a short position. Conversely, if the price manages to rise above 77.58, consider a long position. Moving on to the next chart, let's look at gold. The bulls are holding on to gold above 2,000, marking a win for them. If the price goes above 2007.68, consider a long position. However, if the price breaks the trend line, wait for confirmation before considering a short position. Keep an eye on the US dollar index, DXY, for insights into potential gold shorts. Finally, let's take a look at Bitcoin. The price is currently ranging between 36,000 and 38,000. If the price manages to go above 38,000, we could see it reaching 40,000 by the end of the week. Stay tuned for further developments. All right, so what else do we need to be watching this week? Well, of course, there have been quite a few little bits of news. We've got some other central banks around the world having a chat. But we're always interested in the US, so let's go down here. We got OPEC just driving us insane. That's happening on Thursday. So that'll be big on oil. Then we've got core PCE price index for 8:30 a.m. New York time on Thursday, and then on Friday, we have our good friend Papa Jerome coming out at 11:00 a.m. New York time. And we also have ISM manufacturing PMI. So in many ways, this week will be allowed to be the markets week. We'll be allowed to see how the market wants to technically trade. And at this stage, it is still a melt up until proven otherwise. And that's just the way it kind of is mid-caps. Looking like they're still the best in the market. And we'll see whether they can continue to outperform. RSP is a good read on those. I really appreciate everybody. I hope you had a great time with your family. If you do, Thanksgiving. And hopefully you had a delicious meal. And hopefully that turkey also wasn't too expensive. I heard it was up 32% on the last 2 years in terms of inflation. So those turkeys aren't cheap, guys. All right? Thank you very much. Bye for now. Subscribe, smash the alerts. See you later.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
I'm fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need to send in the